Hi, I'm Jay Fallon, and thank you for listening to The Slippery Slope. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'd ask that you please hit subscribe if you can see this, and the like button. It's very important, apparently. And also, just want to thank those who listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all those other podcast platforms. I really, really do appreciate your support. Now, listen, I read the story yesterday that I'm going to go through today. And quite frankly, I couldn't believe what I was reading. I couldn't stop laughing, for one. And I thought maybe it was a bit of a practical joke, but apparently it's real. It's the real deal. So I'm going to bring up this story for you today, and it comes from Scotland. Scotland, of all places. It's very interesting. Please let me know what you think of this story at the end of it. But here, we'll go through this. I'll read this for you. The headline says, this comes from Sky News, by the way. The headline says, absurd backlash after a man is appointed as Scotland's first period dignity officer. Look, I read the headline and I thought I must have had it all wrong, or I thought they must have meant something else. There's something else to the story. It can't be what I thought it was. Obviously, it can't be what I thought it was. Anyway, I'll go through this. It was written by James Matthews, Scotland correspondent for Sky News, I believe. So it says, the appointment of a man as Scotland's first period dignity officer has provoked widespread criticism. Critics say the job should have gone to a woman, and former tennis star Martina Navratilova has labelled the appointment of Jason Grant, she says, ridiculous. Mr. Grant, a former personal trainer, has been given the job of promoting access to free sanitary products in schools and colleges across the Tay region. The role also includes discussing issues around the menopause. His appointment comes as Scotland becomes the first country in the world to introduce a law to widen access, free of charge, to sanitary products. So the Scottish Government's Period Products Act means that councils and places of education must make items such as tampons free to people who need them. In this article, it's got a picture of Jason with another bloke on his left and then two women on his right. He's got all these products laid out on this table, and he's seemingly discussing with them, explaining the products to a family group. So Mr. Grant's job title is Period Dignity Regional Lead Officer. Period Dignity Regional Lead Officer. I can't even get my head around that title. For one, Period Dignity. I didn't realise there was... Anyway. So this is the first role of its kind in Scotland. News of his appointment has prompted criticism on social media and elsewhere. So critics, which included former tennis champion Martina Navratilova, and obviously I said what she already said, that was on Twitter. She said it was ridiculous. She added, have we ever tried to explain to men how to shave or how to take care of their prostate or whatever? This is absurd. Well, I don't know. Women try to explain things to men all the time. Anyway, that's different. So, Susan Dalgetty, a feminist and columnist for the Scotsman newspaper, told Sky News it's great that Scotland is the first country in the world to offer free period products, thanks largely to the efforts of Monica Lennon, who was a Labour MSP, who made tackling period poverty her mission. But, she goes on to say, but I am astonished that a man has been appointed to be lead on period dignity in Tayside. It takes mansplaining to a new level. Jason has said being a man will help him reduce stigma, and that it is time to normalise topics like menstruation and menopause. Periods are normal life for women. We don't need some bloke in a blood-red polo shirt raising our awareness. It's a pretty good point. I'm not sure if women don't need men raising their awareness. Women know what's going to happen. That's why this whole argument or discussion, debate, whatever you want to talk, say it. Can't talk properly, sorry. Whatever you want to call it, about the transgender, the gender ideology, fluidity, gender fluid ideology. All this debate, talk, discussion, okay? If you're a woman, you know you're a woman, okay? And you cannot just decide that you're a woman, one day and then you're a man the next day. It doesn't just come and go, and you don't, no matter what you do to change the outside, you are still a woman, you are still a man, whatever you're born at. That's just the way it is. And women, okay, if you're a woman, a natural born woman, and you go through and you experience all these things that women have always experienced throughout time: menstruation, menopause, maybe childbirth if you're that, if you're blessed to do that, and this kind of thing. You're a woman. I'm not sure if it needs to be normalized by a bloke, because it is normal for women. But that's the problem. We've taken this discussion to this whole other plane where men can say that they're a woman. They can dress up as a woman and tell everyone, you have to accept me as a woman. But it's just not fact. And now we have a bloke. I'm sorry for laughing. I'm not laughing. I mean, I just think it's ridiculous that this is the time frame that we live in, where a man can get this role, going around and trying to normalize having a period. He's trying to normalize menstruation to women, because it is. They don't need it normalized. It is normal part of life. You go through puberty. This is what happens. 99.9% of the time. I don't know what the figures are, but that's what happens to women. You don't need a man to normalize it, because it's already normal. Anyway. Listen, I won't read the whole lot. I'll flick down further. It says, so in an earlier statement announcing his 2-year appointment, I can't believe he's doing this role for 2 years. Jason was quoted as saying, I think being a man will help me to break down barriers, reduce stigma, and encourage more open discussions. Although affecting women directly, periods are an issue for everyone. I'm glad that he knows that it affects women directly. Oh, crikey. We'll also raise awareness of the menopause, which, although a natural process for women, has wider repercussions in the world of work and family. It's time to normalise these topics and get real around the subject. Let's all get real. Let's all get real around the subject of periods and menopause. Listen, I could understand this if he was a doctor. Okay, if he was a doctor, I could, and specifically trained in gynecology. Then it's like, yeah, okay, I can wrap my head around that. Especially when it comes to menopause. You want a doctor regardless of their sex. That's just my opinion. But having a bloke running around, I don't know how old he is. He looks like he's maybe in his 30s or somewhere, with a blood red shirt on, going around. Oh, and he's the period dignity officer. Listen, I just don't know. This is one of the craziest stories I've read, I think. I think it just shows where we are in our time frame. Where are we in the world where we think that this is the logical way to go? Have we gone that far down the slope? that far down the gender ideology, the transgender ideology slope, that men now go around explaining to women about periods and about menopause. Men who aren't even doctors. Is that where we are now? Are we as a society are we really that silly? Surely common sense would say, if this is a new project, they've gone in and someone, in their parliament has seen this need whatever it is, for this this need to have someone go around and help to discuss these issues that directly affect women and can be a very serious subject for women and only for women. Why isn't it that you would not have a woman? If you really, they call him the dignity. Part of his role is being the part of his his role is the title in his role is the first period dignity officer. If you really want to show dignity to people for something that just affects women, why wouldn't you? Why on earth wouldn't you just entrust this role to a woman? Is our society really that silly now? I'm sorry for laughing while I was talking about this. I just thought the absurdity. I couldn't stop it. I'm sorry, but listen, it's a serious topic for women. I just can't believe that men have. It seems like men are just able to muscle their way in on anything these days, and our society just accepts it. I just think we're getting a little crazier, going further down that slippery slope. Please let me know what you think. If you think, it's all good, it's all fine, he should have that, he should be able to do that, well, okay, explain it to me. But I just thought it would be a role for a woman, an ideal role for a woman. Listen, that's just my opinion. I think it's a little silly, but that's just what I think. Thank you again for listening to The Slippery Slope.